Hey y'all, and welcome to a very special edition of By Any Means Necessary, the year wrap-up edition. Y'all see this outfit, right? Look, I was gonna wear like a chill outfit like I do in the studio, but I only wore this outfit twice and it was really expensive, so I'm gonna wear it for the wrap-up, and it kind of wraps around with the theme of By Any Means Necessary and Wakanda Forever, y'all. So let's get into it. 2018 was by far one of my best years. Thank everybody for tuning into the show weekly, almost weekly. Hopefully in 2019, we will be able to bring you guys 2 episodes a week of By Any Means Necessary so we can do more educating, empowering, and entertaining. But again, this is a wrap up, so let's get into it and talk about all the great things that happened in 2018. To start it off, I want to talk about what happened on the show on By Any Means Necessary and why I had some wonderful events. I had some great guests. I had some memorable moments. I wanted to highlight just 7, and I want to say they're my top 7, but they're just 7 moments that really stuck out for me this year. So Number 7 was topics on self-care. Be surrounded by people who can pour into you, but also do things for yourself to recharge yourself, because we can keep going, go, and then we don't realize that we're empty and burnt out until it's too late.
Exactly. It's easy to be that strong person, but when you get to those moments where you're burnt out, it's like, okay,
how do you deal?
I need somebody to pour into me now.
Right.
What am I gonna do?
Right. So when those moments happen, okay, that's what you need. Prayer and getting massages.
Prayer, massages, resting.
Yeah.
I have, certain people I can call on. My big sister.
Self-care is really important to me because, as many of you know, when I was 28 years old, I had a heart attack and I was in Riverside Hospital just reflecting on my life and just how hectic it is and just things that I needed to do and be better about my self-care. So I had a few guests on that talked about that, and I had Shayla Moore come on, and me and Shayla had great conversations on self-care. She's a very busy woman as well. She's in IT, she's in the military, she's in the beauty business. We attend a lot of the same events, and when she came on that week, we had a really good conversations about things that we do or things that we needed to do better to make sure that we took care of ourselves. And what stuck out to me is something that I'm going to make sure I do in 2019, and it is get a business phone. And then of course, get more massages and laugh more and spend more time with my friends. But I think self-care as entrepreneurs, for sure, it's very important. You guys, just like me, you guys have your full-time jobs. Some of you might have part-time jobs, children, and also we have our entrepreneur work. So, and again, in the first 3 years of being an entrepreneur, it is very hectic. So, and then the money isn't really as much to be able to quit your full-time job. So you are, burning the candles at both ends. So it's very important to just take that time to reflect, whether you pray, meditate. You can see this little area behind me is my relaxation area. I have my sage back here. I have on my my stone from Myla Black. Make sure that you talk to her. She's on my Facebook page as well. Again, sage. I'm really big on candles. I have my oil infuser back here. Shout out to my brother for getting it to me for Christmas. But again, take your time this year, guys, girls, children. If you are busy, take your time to do self-care. I suffer from anxiety, and I learned this year that last year, that anxiety sometimes is just the fear of not being in control. So in 2019, we're going to slow down. We're going to realize that we can't control our outcomes. All we can control is how we react to them and how we plan for certain things. So let's relax in 2019 and focus on self-care. Number 6 was talking to the cast of Blind.
But yeah, it's definitely been a great...
So is this a drama?
It's a drama.
It's action.
Oh.
Suspense.
Yes. So the filmmaker in me has like all the questions. How long did it take you to write?
It took me about a month.
A month to write it? Did y'all have a budget?
Nah.
So y'all just did it?
We just
show up at locations? Did y'all have to get favors, or it was all of you guys just you gonna just film here, meet me at Popeyes in the parking lot. We gonna film. Hopefully they don't do it to tell us to get off.
Used our resources.
The cast of B.A.M.N is filled with just wonderful people, and two of them actually knew before we sat down. Cliff was a member of WODU in the past, and he also did the Motive Show, so it was really cool to catch up with him and see what he's doing with the film. He wrote it, and he directed it, and he casted it. And of course, Ebony Love of 360 of the Ebony Love Show. She also was part of the cast of B.A.M.N. If you haven't watched the show, make sure that you go to the YouTube channel for 360 Arts and Production and click on the cast of B.A.M.N interview. I think it's a really exciting thing that they're doing. They've entered into the HBO Film Festival, so we're all rooting for them. It's really early in the process, so we don't know if they won, but I'm really excited about it. I'm excited about the premise, the plot, and it was just a really exciting thing to just see a cast just gel so, well together, and they're going to be working together in the future. It reminded me of a Different World cast and Grown-ish, just how they all were just black, beautiful, working together, positive, and that's more of what I want to see in 2019, us being a production company as well. Those are the types of things that I am looking to do in 2019. And they always say surround yourself with people who are further than you are. And it was just an inspiration to me to be able to be in the room with them and see a finished script and a finished film and a crew working together. It just, put a fire under me to realize, all right, I need to start working more in my purpose. Not only on B.A.M.N, not only on, my 9 to 5 with my kids, with my king, but also this skill that I have in writing. So thanks, Cast of B.A.M.N. Number 5. This is number 5, but I want to say this is kind of like overall one of my biggest things about B.A.M.N, and it is bringing notice to local small businesses.
Steam for short is just a vaginal steam, also known as a Yanni Scheme, Yoni Steam. It's just an alternative health treatment in which a woman, you squat over herb infused water, so different herbs, so about 20.
Like rosemary, but what type of herb?
Girl, I got a whole list for you. It really depends on what you're trying to do it for, but you sit over the steam for like 20 to 30 minutes, and
Does it hurt? Is it burn?
it does not burn at all. And I'm actually going to start getting into waxes, so I can just get your whole area together, okay? Like, get the whole thing together. Right. Just flowers, smelling like flowers, tasting like pineapples, okay?
Come through.
But, so yeah, you squat over the water for like 20 to 30 minutes, and then you're done. The best,
so it's like, it's a good way and a bad way to do this, though. So I've seen things online with women burning themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be a sanitary environment, obviously,
right.
In a wooden stool.
Yes.
Okay.
I actually been making some chairs, so it can be wood. It just depends on what you want to do, because I've seen some plastic, a whole bunch of stuff. You can really...
On the clip that I have here, I met with Kyla Moore of the Pink Petal, and the Pink Petal is all about self-care. Again, self-care. Let's bring a full circle. 360 people. Kyla Moore came through and talked about yoni steaming and ear candling. And I like the yoni steaming so much that I actually have it in my room right now. I have a throne. Nick talks about it all the time. It looks like a Beauty and the Beach throne, but Beauty and the Beach, Beauty and the Beast throne. But that was like a really great experience, and that probably is one of my favorite moments this year, because it's the gift that keeps on giving. That was a great show. Thank you again, Kyla Moore, for coming through. But again, she was one person that came on, and I also feel like I have a really good platform to be able to bring small business owners on, because people can hear about it and learn about services they might have heard about before, but really didn't get to know what it really was about. And B.A.M.N is all about that. It's about getting the word out, getting people excited about local services they might not have known about in the past. So along with Kyla, I had Kiera Watt that came on, and she was actually talking about how she was nervous to be, you know, on that kind of platform and speaking publicly, but she came on and she did so great. So seeing her, you know, come out of her shell and talk about her business, not only Kyla, Tahara Saron, I had Tahara on this year, and she is the owner and CEO of Black Gold Publishing. I'm so proud of her and how she went into a conventional publishing house and they told her that her work was too ethnic, but Tahara started her own and she is breaking records locally right here in the 757. So if you're looking for a platform, if you're an author, contact Tahara as well. I had so many people. Vicky Secrets. Who else? I'm so proud of everybody and just so excited that I'm able to, you know, talk to people, learn from them. Of course, Love. She opened her Culture Coffee and Tea Bar this year. We were out here making moves. And again, while I am a lover of the human race, I am a super supporter of the Black community. So I'm happy that By Any Means Necessary was able to, you know, provide that platform for people that own their own businesses. And hopefully next year it's even more people coming on. I know it will be, and I'm excited to meet you guys and have the listeners find out about your products, your services, get to know you, do giveaways. I want to do it even bigger this year. So again, big up to all the small business owners. It's not an easy thing. It's not for everybody, but shout out to you guys. Shout out to Sunshine Academy. Shout out to Yaya. Shout out to Leah Monet. I don't want to leave anybody out, but you guys know me. I love you guys. I see you guys. I'm so proud of you, Vicky, everyone. Shout out to the small business owners. That's my number 5. Number 4, live performances.
Oh, this is my favorite part. This beat fire.
I love this song.
Turn up for me a little bit. Yeah, Southside. We in here, WODU. Night of the real hitters, the feeling that trill gets you. You wake up from your dreams to money like hill figures. When I was 16, I was seen as a meal ticket. With sugar-coated dreams of the things that a deal gets you. Made a way, it's safe to say that they ain't live like me. 100-round drum couldn't kill a vibe like me. I'm Pac on his 4th album, all eyes on me. R.I.P. these people here couldn't tie my sneaks. I'm going yard, the youngest, shout out to ETP. Yeah, they like, oh, it can't be. Yes, it can, my parameters, no amateur. In 2 or 3 years, I'll be Jordan in front of cameras. I see pain, see laughter. I see money, see a king losing sight of what he's after. Killing, yeah.
I cannot sing, y'all. I can't rap, but I love music. I love me some music, and I love just seeing people in their element. I love the art. So I had a few people come on this year, and they did some live performances. I had Southside Yoko come on, and I threw him a beat. You know, he freestyled. He was able to drop some of his work, and after that, the connection, guys, we were able to shoot his music video. It was just all love. So that was a really good show. Really good. He's really talented. If you guys haven't heard of him, Maya Lene came on and she sung twice on the show. She's so bomb, guys. She's definitely one of my spirit animals out here. Shout out to Maya Lene. But anybody that came on B.A.M.N this year, rap, sung, did spoken word. Again, if you are an artist and you want to open up and share this platform, please contact me today at 360amp@gmail.com, and I would love to have you on the show. I'm looking forward to having DJ Styles, all the DJs locally that come on. If you want to spin live on my show, that's so dope to me. Like, please, I'm all about real talent, real music, and I'm old school. I was born in 87, so I'd rather have that type of, you know, stuff than like the trap. I can't really get with that. So everybody who came on again, that is an artist, a true artist. Thank you for coming on B.A.M.N this year, and that was my number 4. My number 3 moment on B.A.M.N this year was my first celebrity interview. They get boxed into a personality that's not their own. The label might try to mold them, and the fans are looking for that type of personality. Yeah. So as a celebrity and in this music industry, how do you separate the real, your reality from what the fans see and what they want from you? How do you deal with that?
Man, that's hard to explain. It's just like an on and off switch. It's like when
easy for you?
Yeah, when I step outside the house, like I don't have my kids or my girl or my mother and father looking at me, so it's like that switch comes on. Yeah. And I gotta do it. I gotta entertain so that I can bring this bread back, and then I'm daddy. And
so it's kind of like a means to an end. You know that what you do provides for your family, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, yeah. Is it hard? You say you got 4 kids, we got 6.
Oh wow.
So yeah, we know what it is, especially we're not, of course, not on that level, but having to be creative and then having the kids in the house and being able to balance that and then separate it. Is that hard? How have you learned to, I'm daddy right now, I'm Lex right now?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work?
It's pretty simple. I do, like, my kids do ask me, like, because they see the plaques and stuff. And, like, my daughter asked me the
That
other
picture
day.
was so cute with the record.
Yeah, right. So this girl had noticed me at Food Line. And she was like, oh, you a celebrity? Like, what you doing here? I'm like, no, stop. I'm not a celebrity. You know what I mean?
My daughter's right here.
So I got in the car and she was like, Daddy, are you like famous? I was like, nah, I don't.
So you want to keep them shielded from that altogether?
I feel like it's impossible to shield them from it. So it's just upfront honesty.
As much as I can.
Yeah.
For B.A.M. Season 2, I was lucky to have the super producer Lex Luger come on the show. Let me tell you how that happened. So, and again, it's all about who you know, putting yourself out there, being open, being gracious, and just showing up when you're supposed to. So, my friend, shout out to DJ DC. DJ DC actually came on B.A.M., met him there this season. He did a great interview. Never had really met him before. He came on the show. We hit it off. He talked to Nick and I about things that we were doing with the company, and we were able to forge that relationship. And that relationship ended up being, now that we're doing his media for his own DJ DC TV, we went to the station to get some footage for some interviews. And actually 1 week, look, this is what happened when you at home. Bra just flipping and falling, y'all. Forgive me. And also, let me tell y'all, I had to rig this, right? I wore this for my birthday in February. It is January 2nd, 2019. I wore this dress February 16th, 2018. It was cute and it fit. Y'all look at this. It don't fit no more. I got all the happy weight. So if you see me doing this, that's why. It's not, I'm gonna get it together. So again, we're back. Lex Luger came on this show. Hold on, pause. You gotta go. I was doing great. Then I'm laughing because you came in. Give me a kiss. That's my baby, y'all.
This ain't gonna be.
That's why I'm fat.
What's wrong with your mom?
Wait, you want to change the angle or for the next section? Okay.
What?
Don't worry about it. Go ahead. Here you go. Here you go. Okay. So, that. We went and we did the interview with Lex Luger, and then afterwards, I was just letting him know, him and his team know about my show By Any Means Necessary, and let him know, asked him if he wanted to come through and do an interview someday. Not only did he say yes, but he said he can come the very next day. So the very next day, I'm doing research because, of course, any good interviewer must know about their subject. So I'm doing my research, I heard about him, of course. I knew about his music, but I just wanted to really dive deep into, knowing who he was as a person as well as an artist and his rise to fame. So that was a really cool experience for me to have because, again, I do love doing this radio thing, and I hope to one day, take us to the next level. And that was a good starter for me. His whole team came in there. They were very gracious, very open. He was honest about the things that he went through when it came to drug abuse. But not only that, I wanted to talk about, his family and things that it's important to me as far as my platform. Again, educating, empowering, and entertaining, and definitely touching on things that is important to me as a mother, as a future wife, okay, and as a member of the Black community. So I wanted to talk about the responsibility that he felt to his listeners, and he spoke about being in the studio with Young Thug, and it was funny because it was one part of the interview that we touched on that he was just reminiscing about a time in the studio with Young Thug, and he was saying that the music that we hear isn't really, he has another level of talent. Thug does. And I, stopped the interview and was like, okay, so if we have this person who really does have talent, why is it that is not what's put forward? And then that became the conversation. What do you think the motive is behind the big wigs pushing forward the mumble rap, pushing forward the drug talk, pushing forward the things that might not be detrimental to the Black community? I mean, the things that are detrimental. Why are we hearing this if he really does have talent? And it was cool to see where the interview went with there. So that was a dope interview. That was a dope time for me on B.A.M.N, my first celebrity interview. Look it up. It's on YouTube, and it does have my most views. So shout out to Lex Luger, shout out to TMG, Duke, Miss Hollywood, and DJ DC for making that happen. That was a dope moment for B.A.M. Number 2. Boop, ba-doop, boop, 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 boop. 2. I'm building with my baby, building with my king. Deal with. But at the end of the day, I'd rather my child be left behind than pushed forward to a grade that they're not ready for.
You know who pushed for that? You know who has the money to push for that?
To push for what? To push for them to be not left behind?
Uh-huh.
Who?
And it was all, it's just, and I want anybody who disagrees with me to go look this up. Please go look this up.
What happened?
The prison industrial complex. Private prisons lobbied for that more than anybody else, especially in the state of Florida. Because the more kids drop out, the average is the more kids they drop out, the higher the prison population.
Well, yeah, so they would think that if they
keep pushing them along, they're going to drop out.
Left behind, that they would drop out of school because it was too hard.
Yeah.
And then once they dropped out, they would what?
Yes. Keep them going. Keep them on that level.
That makes sense.
Push them in them schools. Keep them with the people of their age. Because most people I know that get left behind, they still end up finishing unless it's just that hard for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know at least, and this is probably a low number, I know at least 10 people at least that got left behind and all of them finished high school.
Yeah. So like with that number, and that's probably what the majority of people would say. It's like those few people that we hear about that failed and failed and failed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, they know that bringing them back a grade gives them another opportunity. They're not trying to give no extra opportunities. We need you to go to jail. We need to fill these private prisons.
By any means necessary. For those who know me, I started off on radio being a co-host on Straight No Chaser, and that was with my dog, the Antique Soul. And I stopped doing that December 2016, and for all accounts, I was done with radio. Met my baby, met my soulmate, and with the help of him, got the confidence to go back into radio. And By Any Means Necessary was the platform, and is what needed to happen. And I mean, if you watch the shows, my favorite part sometimes, most of the times, is when I get to sit down with him and build with him. What you guys see during those segments on the show is literally what happens in the room every night. We sit and we build and we talk and we laugh. We talk and we watch the news. We talk about the things that's going on in the community, in our country, and how we can change it. And it's going to take more than just us. And I'm grateful because this platform, starts conversations. So many conversations that people start with me is based off of what they see me and Nick talk about on B.A.M. And the goal, of course, is to eventually leave America and to go to Africa and to be in the environment where we are welcome and then where we can flourish, because honestly, we just don't see it happening here. And the discussions that we have about school, about, mass incarceration, about the Black family, about entertainment. We have so many deep, important conversations. And it just, every time I sit down at that table and talk to him about that, it just further affirms how much I love him and how much, he is my alike, and that we are equally yoked, and that it is just, further confirmation every time. And it warms my heart. So that definitely is my number 2 moment for 2018 on B.A.M. Hey, baby. And my number 1 favorite moment on B.A.M. this year is hearing my daughter Zaria talk about influence. What I want to talk to you about is it's something called influence. Do you know what influence is?
Somebody like not copying, but being inspired by you.
Okay. Yes, girl. So yes, influence, and big on energy, right? So I feel like you can be influenced by what type of people, what types of things, and people can influence you.
Well, you and Nick.
Because you're around us a lot, right? Do you think you can be influenced by what you watch?
Some things.
Some things you feel like you're not somebody that will be influenced by what you watch, right? But you feel like that can happen sometimes. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what? And she knows some things that have happened in the past. I'm not a fan of. Can y'all watch SpongeBob?
No.
No, can't watch SpongeBob. Why can't you watch SpongeBob?
Because it's inappropriate and a lot of bad stuff happened
A
on the
lot
show.
of bad stuff happened on the show and it's inappropriate, right? So, but like you could watch some things that you watch, people might feel like it's inappropriate. Like y'all watch it, right? But my thought process when it comes to, you know, watching things and influence is I feel like some things you're able to separate more than other things. So if you're watching TV, so Disney Channel, I am not, hey Aunt, hey Corey, I am not a fan of Disney Channel because I feel like when children look at the Disney Channel, they can see themselves as a reflection. When you watch things like Descendants and you watch things like That's So Raven, and even sometimes with Teen Titans with the littler ones, they will say, you know, when they have pretend, they will say that I'm this person or I'm that person. So like Descendants, you would say that I am, who was the girl that you would say that you were?
Uma?
Okay, so Uma, right? But Uma is an extreme character, so you know you're not somebody who lives in the sea and that would act like Uma. But you can watch a show like Andy Mack or That's So Raven or Raven's Home and you can identify with the sister. Think so? Okay. So what my issue is and where I stand is you can look at somebody and try to, without even thinking about it, their behaviors can be a part of your behaviors. And some children and some adults can look at some musicians or some characters on TV and start to become that person, start mirroring those behaviors, even if it's subconsciously. So when it comes to Disney Channel, it was a period of time where if I said something, if Nick said something, if any adult in their life said something, they might think to respond in a way that's not typical for kids being raised by black people. So any type of talk back or any type of questioning, if you're not raised like that, where are you getting that from? And sometimes that can come from TV. There was an episode on the show, I guess the Roundhouse or whatever. It was some episode on one of the shows where the children were, you know, conspiring to not listen to their parents. And anything like that you look up to, that you watch often, you understand that can become an influence.
Yeah.
How do you think that can work with music?
Some music can be like how they sing it.
Mm-hmm.
The words that come out their mouths can be bad.
Yeah. How does that make you feel if you listening to a song? Because I know we play edited music. That was my favorite moment. She sat across from me, and you know, of course, you talk, so you know you're an interviewer, so you kind of lead questions. But it was her. She sat there and she talked about what influence was, and she talked about who her influences were, and how she could not be influenced. Listen, she a girl, and she pretty, and she's smart, so she got to know who she is for her, because people gonna try to get her when she get older, and I'm not having it. Ain't nobody having it in the crib, but she gets it, and it was just like a. All right, one down. Now she can get out and get a job. All right, so that was my top 7 moments of B.A.M.N. Again, that's just, 7. I had a great time this year with everybody who came on the show, everyone who called in, on my Facebook, everybody who tunes in on Facebook weekly. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the co-hosts of the year. Again, if you're interested in being on B.A.M.N, it's doing it, y'all. It's doing it. If you're interested on being on B.A.M.N season 3, contact me at 360amp@gmail.com. If you want to be a sponsor, any of that stuff. I want all the people in all the areas to be a part of B.A.M.N that wants to educate, empower, and entertain. So also countdown for B.A.M.N 2018. Again, I am a big lover of music, and I always share music on the show, whether it be from independent artists or if it is from mainstream artists. And I had, just my top 5 of music that I've rocked out to in 2018. Number 5. Nayo with Saturn. So many people don't know who Nayo is, and Nayo, let me just, before I tell you to go listen to her, download her, she is an acquired taste, okay? If I had to describe Nayo to somebody, I would say, imagine an alien came down and went to Coachella and made an album. That's Nayo. My favorite track from Neo Saturn is actually a song called Saturn. It's going to be at my wedding. It's going to be played at my wedding. I'm not going to walk down to it, but I really love that album. That album is really dope. Play it on, vibe out to it, cook to it, clean to it. Neo with Saturn 2018 coming into 2019. Listen to the track Saturn. Sophisticated, Chipmunks, the girl version, but still super dope. Number 5, Neo with Saturn. Number 4, Sir with November. Sir is with TDE, so he's with, you know, of course, Kendrick Lamar, SZA, Isaiah Rashad. He's with all of those people. Sir is the R&B crooner of the group, and Ninth Wonder actually today released a statement, and he said that he is the emperor of R&B. He said, for all you young people who don't know, R&B is rhythm and blues, so Jacquees, step to the side. The king of R&B is Sir. I don't know if I would put him as the king of R&B, but I definitely would say that I really did love that album. Again, another vibe. I'm a real big indie R&B person. My iTunes playlist is very eclectic. It can go really from like Maroon 5 to Big Bang, Take Lil Bank, and everything else in between. But Sir, like indie R&B is my genre of choice. So Sir was dope. Favorite song from Sir this year. I once before they kept the evils away. The Evils. Listen to it. I played it on the show this year, and it's D'(Evils). Listen to Sir. Tell him I sent you. Album number 4 was Sir with November. Album 3, Dirty Computer, and Janelle Monáe. Dirty Computer. Janelle Monáe came with the heat this year. Django Jane, I Like That, Pink, Juicy album, like for real, it needs to be Grammy nominated. If it isn't, I wouldn't be surprised, but because how they do. But Janelle Monáe, a talented actress, talented singer, activist, all types of things. You know her from Hidden Figures, you know her from Moonlight. But the album number 3, Janelle Monáe with Dirty Computer. My second favorite album of the year was the Black Panther soundtrack. Again, Wakanda Forever, dude. Wakanda Forever. Black Panther soundtrack actually came out on the best day of the year, which was February 16th, 2018. And I heard the album the night of my birthday, so it just made that experience so much better. I remember being in the car on my birthday and Nick was driving and Redemption came on. And it was a whole production. I had the kids in the back seat. I was transported to Africa in that moment. It was just, and we played it. The kids loved it. Oops. What's some songs from Black Panther? The song, yep, All the Stars. Yep, Triple X. The song with the girl who looked like Janae, Georgia Smith. See, you hear Zari in the background. That album was popping. From track 1 all the way to the end. Kendrick Lamar did a great job with that project. He was the artistic director on that project. Like really great album. And it was probably next to Hercules, my favorite soundtrack. Hercules. That's number 2, Black Panther soundtrack. And my favorite album of the year, drumroll, Nipsey Hussle with Victory Lap. And it's a coincidence because it came out on the greatest day of the year, February 16th. I'm a visual person when I hear music, and I can hear a song and I can like a song based off of how a person sings it, based off of the story, based off of the music, how it makes me feel. It can be different reasons why I attach myself to a certain song. But that album was very visual for me, and I felt like I was watching a movie. As the filmmaker in me loves the album, and I can't sit here and say I can relate to what he was talking about, because I can't. But last time that I checked, it's something about Cali music that I just love. It's so like, I just want to get up and start dancing. That's my song. My favorite song of the year was him and Kendrick Lamar, Dedication, and I can relate to that song. It's some stuff, and part of the reason why I love that album is stuff that he says in that song that I can't wait till I don't have to work in corporate America anymore, so I can say that stuff too. So I feel him on that. Nipsey Hussle is big on teaching self-wealth, teaching the community how we can expand our wealth, and he did it by himself. He didn't do it with the big label. So I respect him, appreciate that. And a goal of mine for 2019 is, even if it's on the phone, to get Nipsey Hussle on B.A.M.N. If you know Nip, send him this clip. If you know, I got bars, Nip. If you know Nip, send this clip. My favorite album of the year, Nipsey Hussle with Victory Lap. In 2018, we had a lot of moments that made the news that we talked about on B.A.M.N. Again, by any means necessary, I will educate, empower, and entertain. I like to have fun. We talk about newsworthy Black moments in culture. We talk about Black history. We talk about politics. It is a large array of things, celebrities, things that we talk about, but we always try to bring it back to, again, either educating, empowering, or entertaining. So here are the top 5 newsworthy moments on By Any Means Necessary this year. Number 5, celebrities making the news. We had a lot of celebrities this year that made the news. Some big celebrities that made the news this year. Cardi, Kanye, Nicki Minaj, a lot of things that were going on. As far as the Cardi and Nicki thing, what I want to take out of that situation is it's okay to like more than one thing and more than one female. A lot of times, when it comes to Black women, there is this thing, and I went to an event this year that was, I'm sorry with the names of the event, She's Boss Women in Power event, and that was put on by Shaylin Moore. And Shaylin talked about, let me get it right, y'all, let me get it right. She talks about compliments over competition, and basically just eliminating competition. And what often happens a lot is, so you might have somebody in your group, in your crew, in your circle of friends, or somebody that is in your network on your Facebook feed that does the exact same thing you do. And like Nicki and Cardi, people try to put you guys against each other because you are in the same lane and you do the same thing. It's okay. We have, my iTunes can hold thousands and thousands of songs. I can listen to Ganja Burn and I can listen to Ring. And why I would say I do like Ganja Burn better than a lot of songs on Cardi's album, I can respect both women separately and together. It doesn't have to be a competition thing. So that was very newsworthy. The things that happened at the fashion events, with with the baby and with the relationships, and just in 2019, y'all, we are going to encourage. We are not going to feed into negativity. If you don't bang with somebody, if you don't gel with somebody, there's people that, you know, they're seasoned. So for a season, you can be friends with somebody, but let's just not go on social media and talk about bad experiences. Let's not go on social media bashing the next male, female. I say oftentimes on B.A.M.N. that I'm not a feminist, and I say that for a specific reason, because while I support the reason behind the origination the creation of, you know, the feminist movement, it is not what it is today. And I'm not for male bashing. I love my king. I love the fact that he does man things and I do things for a woman. And there are things that can, you know, overlap. But it's not about a competition, and it's not about asserting my authority over him or him over me. We can all work together, and that's how we're going to progress. So again, the putting Nicki and Cardi against each other, I wasn't with that. I have both albums on my playlist. I don't promote either of the over sexualization of them that they promote. I don't do that, but there are some tracks that I do like. Thanks, Ganja Burn. Ganja, 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 ganja burn. Right? Also, Crazy Kanye. In 2019, we're not going to, you know, stress out or expect him to have our back, y'all. We already know what it is, okay? Kanye was in the news a lot this year. We know about his support of Trump. We know about his view on slavery. Regardless of what Kim Kardashian said, we expect a certain type of entertainment and behavior from him. We know what it is. Don't look to him to be your savior. Don't look to him to be your cultural guide. Don't look to him to be your gauge. He is a thermostat. The temperature that he sets is not something that I'm trying to be on. You know what I mean? He's not somebody that I want my sons to be like. He is not somebody that I look to for inspiration. If he drops a hot track again ever, great, and I'll play it, and I might like it, but he, you know, we're gonna just leave the crazy Kanye in 2018. So a lot of celebrities made the news this year. What I'm looking forward to for next year from celebrities, I'm sure Beyonce gonna do something crazy. She shut down Coachella. They dropped the surprise album. Rihanna, what's up with the new album? She dropped the game on Fenty Beauty. She broke records. Congrats to her. I don't care about the Kardashians. I care about anybody who is doing things for our community. Jay-Z and Beyonce, with their money from the tour, they put together scholarships for our community. So that's so dope to me. Those are the types of stories that I care about, that I want to see more of, that I hope to be a part of and be able to contribute to the community as well. So I'm looking for celebrities to help us. I'm looking for more Nipseys, more Rick Rosses, more Jay-Z and Beyonce's, more Chance the Rappers, more Lupe Fiascos, more Kendricks, everybody feeding back into the community. That's what I'm looking for in 2019 by any means necessary. And come on the show. Why not? A big story this year, number 4, was the Eagles Super Bowl win. Listen, the NFL was a big topic of discussion because, of course, we all know what's going on with Colin Kaepernick and with Eric Reed and what's going on as far as, you know, it's kind of like a plantation and black people are not represented well. They're not treated well. If you guys follow the news, Nick was telling me that almost every black coach besides Mike Tomlin was fired this year. And it is not a coincidence. It is not a secret of how they treat the black community. But the Eagles won, and that was a good moment for me. And I had this really good time, and I remember being there and Nick falling asleep at the Super Bowl party. Who does that? Nick. He does that. He falls asleep. But Meek Mill came out. He had just got released, and that was a big moment. He came on a helicopter. That's right when Meek had dropped Stay Woke with Miguel. So that was a really, you know, exciting moment of the year. Congrats to the Eagles. I'm not an Eagles fan, but it was a dope moment for 2018. Number 3, another big story this year was the continued mass shootings and the conversations on gun control. We had issues across the country, and this was, again, one of the biggest years for mass shootings in America. And it's crazy because when I was planning this wrap up, looking through the internet, scouring about the shootings and just doing research, I went to look up the names of the shooters. And interestingly enough, we all know how they look. The names were not there, and the reasons I saw that they gave for not having them was that they didn't want to put notoriety. They didn't want to give them the attention that they deserve. But I think it is important, the same way that they will blast a black male, a black female, mostly a black male, for being a suspect in a crime. You'll see the mugshot, you'll see the name, you'll see the age, you'll see the location. Why not for these individuals who committed mass murder? Why aren't we learning about who they are and their background? So that was disturbing to me, but that was continued this year on the news. A disturbing trend on the news this year, again, speaking of pictures and how they promote certain criminals and victims, what they say about them, is the trend continued of criminalizing the victim in a black situation. So we had issues. We had a situation where 2 young ladies were shot and one lost their life due to a white male. There was no, of course, situation that led to it that was justified. That would never be justified. But when they put the picture up of the young lady, they showed her holding a gun. Had something happened recently where they showed a young man. He was 12 years old and he was killed locally. He was killed with a stray bullet, and the picture they showed of him was unflattering. But we have a white male who killed his family, and the picture they showed of him was smiling on the golf course with his children, with his wife that he murdered. So in continuation, every year, what we see is, you know, misrepresentation, and we need that to change. And while we can't control what CNN puts on or what Fox News puts on or Good Morning America and Today Show, we can create more platforms like this where we can tell the true story of Kendrick Johnson. We can tell the true story of Trayvon Martin, of Sandra Bland, of Tamir Rice. We can put those out there in the flattering pictures, and we can empathize with them how we should, instead of looking at them and even thinking, which we would never do, but somebody might look at and think of, well, maybe they deserved it. Because no, Trayvon Martin's story did come on BET this year, and in court, Geraldo Rivera actually blamed him for wearing a hoodie and said that him wearing a hoodie caused his death. So, again, in 2019, what we want to do is create more platforms. Even if you don't want to do a whole hour show, if you don't want to do a 30-minute show, just get on Facebook, make your voice heard. People do watch, people do care, people do share. So when things like this happen in the black community, don't be quiet about it. Continue to share, continue to talk, to continue to not sit down, not be quiet. The number 2 story of the year was this Black Power surge, man. The rise of Black culture, the continuation of Black culture, Black pride was everywhere this year. Wakanda forever. Again, February 16th, 2018, Black Panther came out. I think the only person who was tired of Black Panther was Black Panther himself. If y'all saw, poor Chadwick. I didn't know he was that old. Finding out on his birthday this year that he was the age he was, that kind of made sense of why he was tired of doing this in every picture. But it was just a surge. I saw so many people just being proud to be Black this year, and it was a beautiful thing. Thank you to LeBron James, to Colin Kaepernick, again, Nipsey, Rick, Chance, everybody who, Beyonce, everybody who had a voice and a platform this year and then used it, knowing what could have happened, knowing that they could have lost sponsors. We all heard what Nike did with Colin Kaepernick, and yes, they did it because it was a smart move for money, but they still did it. So thanks to them. Thanks to Nick Cannon, who had the back of Kevin Hart and put on blast Chelsea Handler and Sarah Silverman for making homophobic comments as well, even though Kevin Hart was the one that was being criminalized for it and all those things and being bashed for it. Bringing it to the platform is important, just because you just want people to have your back. Like, a lot of times people, they talk about the Black community when we talk about things and saying that we're so angry and why are we bringing it up, or why is Nick Cannon talking about Kevin Hart. Sometimes people just need to know that you're not alone and that we got your back, and I appreciate Nick Cannon for that, and I feel like Nick and I will definitely be those types of people as well. Like, we got your back and we're not going to be quiet. So yeah, just hopefully in 2019, just the love of the Black community just grow, the support. Shout out to D of Body by D on Facebook and Instagram. She is really big on just talking about the Black community and just showing her love for Black men, for Black women, and just continuously posting what we can do to be there for each other. In 2019, be there for one another. I know Love, she's seen people pulled over, like, not just her, but several people will drive and see a cop pull somebody over and just stop and wait and ask if they're okay. And it's sad that we have to do that, but that's just the world we're in. We see it on the news every day. A little girl lost her life because somebody opened fire, took her life. So we just need to just be there. When something isn't right, don't let it pass. When you see your Black brother, your Black sister in need, whether it be, support them, share their thing on Facebook, ask them if they're okay. If you haven't seen them in a while, check on them, support their business. Less bashing, less hating, less complaining, more sharing of your story. If you don't have anything to give monetary, sharing of your time, like, that's what we need more of. We need more of support. We are the only race of people, the only population, the only community without a community. Let's change that. Let's talk about wanting to do it and actually doing it. Coming together, really just building one brand, one cohesive unit. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all want to learn how to work the camera, call 360. And not just us, it's people out here. Just find them, connect to them. Black culture was popping this year. Let's keep it moving. And the number one story, the number one thing that was in the news this year that was important on B.A.M.N and important just in the world was mental health awareness. This year we lost Anthony Bourdain, we lost Kate Spade to suicide, to drug-related issues, we lost Mac Miller. There were a lot of people in the news that just had a hard time. Again, Kanye. Recently we had Pete Davidson. We had a slew of people. I had Lex Luger on the show that talked about drug abuse. Mental health awareness is very important to me. In my career, my 9 to 5, I do work in that population. And I just feel like it's always important to talk about mental health. It's always important to check on people, to check on your strong friend. When people reach out and they say they're having a hard time, just take that time to stop and to ask them how they are. Something also that, again, I'm very open with. I have a diagnosis, again, of anxiety. I do feel it is important in 2019 and every year beyond, start right now. Instead of depending on chemicals, I think we should be focused on this year and the years further with doing things more natural. Whether it's oils, again, if you meditate, do that. If eating better, working out more, drinking more water, surrounding yourself with positive energy. Yeah, That has been the biggest change in my life. I'm surrounded 24/7 by love. When I come to my house is a place of peace. Regardless of what stresses might be from work or the children, when I come in here, it is love. I am encouraging you to do the same. Don't wait. Life is short. Again, we lost people this year. Life is short. Things are not about money. It's not all about money. We don't do 360 for money. Of course, money is important and we have to survive. We want to be able to help people. You want to be peaceful. You want to feel fulfilled. Like, guys, in 2019, make sure your mental space, your self-care is on point. If you need tips on any of that, I know plenty of therapists. Don't feel ashamed to go to therapy. Please read up, Google some things that you can do. Just take time for yourself, even if it's 15 minutes a day where you can sit down. Especially in the Black community, mental health is a taboo topic. That is a passion of mine. Even one day soon, when 360 will be my full-time focus, I will never leave the mental health field. In some point, I want to make sure that we're good, because when we're at our best mentally, then we can do what we're here for. We can, walk in our purpose, and we can help the community. You can't help people get better if you're not better. So in 2019, we're going to make sure our mental health is on point. All right, guys, when it comes to music, movies, news, what happened in pop culture, those are my highlights for 2018. I want to give a big shout out to my top 3 listeners every week. Best friends, Tanya and Chastity, thank you guys so much for tuning in and giving feedback. I love seeing your name up. My brother Anthony, thank you so much for tuning in. My baby, thank you so much for being by my side, being the best videographer, editor that there is out there. My kids, Zari especially, thank you for being there to, help with sound, setup, Obi, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, everybody, for listening. My Facebook users, my guests for 2018, and my future guests for 2019. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for giving feedback. Hopefully this year we're going to have more merchandise for you to purchase, more hats, more cups, more shirts, everything. I want to make sure that we are here for you by any means necessary. Peace, love, light, good night.